Hey guys, and welcome back to Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows. This is the part I, in particular, have been waiting for, because we get to see Plague Knight's version of the Explodatorium, and the hijinks will be aplenty. The shenanigans are in full order here.
What I really like about the stage is that they basically set up as that there's a intruder actually inside causing havoc in the Explodatorium, and of course, if you've played the other campaign, which you really should have by now, do not start with Plague Knight, what are you, nuts? If you've played that by now, you have an inkling who the intruder is, and this setup is actually really interesting, I find.
That stuff in the background, was that there in Shovel Knight's version of the level?
I am not sure. I'll be honest with you, when I was playing both versions of the stage, I was mostly focused on what was going on in the background. Although I will, bring this up again, that I really love how, just as a whole, Shovel Knight uses all these great layers in the background to really give the stages a lot of dimension, even though it's on a 2D plane. Like, the art direction is just fantastic for this game. I gotta praise it again.
And, there's like a few people, I'm not going to name names because it's not really that important, and I'm not really trying to shame anyone, who was like, why do you keep saying Shovel Knight's so good? It's just like a 2D platformer that's, I don't know, basic. And that's the thing, it's a 2D platformer that's really solidly designed, and I had a lot of fun with it, and not everything needs to be super experimental and, blow stuff out of the water, just as, conversely, things don't need to be basic and can be better as well. You have to work on a case-by-case basis, otherwise you end up stereotyping and generalizing things.
Well, I mean, I agree with you on that. Like, I don't think you don't necessarily have to experiment when it comes to making a product. If you make a product that's really, really good, even though people have seen it before, they will positively respond to that. It kind of reminds me of when I go on Amazon and I'm looking for books, because as you know, I love buying the shit. And when I look at the reviews for a book, and many times you'll find a review that's like 3 stars, 2 stars, and the main commentary for the review is, oh, we've seen this before, oh, there's nothing new here. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if there's nothing new here. First off, you need to actually execute what's going on in there. And secondly, if you do that, and the way they teach you how to do that in the book is really well refined and learns on the mistakes of previous attempts to do so, then I think it's worth the purchase, because I think there's nothing better than, you can either make an experimental concept and fuck it up, or you can make something that's been done before, but refine it to an absolute science that makes it worth going through again.
Or just put your own spin on it, really, because I love, again, I'm going to bring up... Well, actually, I won't even bring up that show we mentioned last time. I'll just use a general example, even though I told you not to generalize. Ignore me. Anyway, I have many meanings. I'm totally mysterious. I like watching reaction videos of certain shows and whatnot, because I like seeing how people interpret things differently. And that's just the way I feel about Shovel Knight. I think it is a really solid, well done kind of concept. We've obviously seen it before. It's a friggin' love letter to Mega Man, among other 2D platformers of that particular ilk, but it's well done, and I believe it deserves your dollars.
Definitely. So, as a whole, how would you feel that, Plague Knight's version of the Explodatorium goes for you? Like, would you say it's harder, about the same kind of difficulty? What's going on?
Some areas easier, some areas harder. I feel, as a whole, it's a more fun kind of level, because there are some really dickish kind of jumps and whatnot in Shovel Knight's version that I can get over easily with burst jumps and whatnot. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think we even used the alchemy coin in our run of Shovel Knight's campaign, so I have no problem with that being regarded as trash.
Yeah, I mean, we used it once to demonstrate it. I never used the alchemy coin. I mostly relied on the Orb of Chaos, of course, and the Flare Wand and things like that. But yeah, as for me, I did feel that the Explodatorium, maybe because I was already familiar with it, and because it was a fairly challenging level for me as a Shovel Knight. But as Plague Knight, he has all this interesting stuff that just kind of makes it fun to romp through. Like, I feel it was really built for the guy, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even think they intended to do that, when they originally made the stage, without even considering, how a Plague Knight version would play out. But I just had a lot more fun with it, although, again, there are those really tricky jumps you kind of have to watch out for, because it's very easy to accidentally brush the edge of spikes when you're trying to get a coin and just kill yourself, so you definitely have to watch out.
And these guys are as annoying as ever. Oh my god, so many retakes hinged on these guys just knocking me off of platforms and the like, because I couldn't aim my bombs correctly!
Yeah, aiming can be the biggest problem when you're playing as Plague Knight, so you definitely want to watch out for that kind of thing.
Well, no amount of retakes can save you if you're unskilled, dear viewers.
Now, I know you like this bomb setup, but I believe my main complaint with it was the fact that when you throw only one bomb, it doesn't really do anything. Really, to get any kind of effect with it, you have to chain them together. You can't just throw out one and have it do stuff, which I guess is why one reason I gravitated towards the cluster was, even though you threw one, it did that nice multi-hit attack, so that made it devastating in its own right. Like this one, I feel you kind of have to shoot and shoot and shoot just to get anything done.
Yeah. Alright, Chester, what have you got for us?
Well, I have a coin that you can use to make other coins, but I don't want it for some reason.
Well, he's an alchemist, he can just alchemize gold.
That's true. But you know what? They never really clarified that he can actually make gold. Mostly he's interested in blowing shit up, which I guess is a life goal. But it's never anything like, oh, I'm just gonna get rich off of this shit.
Well, you're mostly right. He doesn't like bring up like, oh, I can just be rich forever. He does mention that he can make gold, and so does Mona as well.
Okay. I guess it's just not really important to him. It's more about the recognition than anything. That's why he wants to blow shit up, because that sounds like a sane idea. But then again, this is Plague Knight we're talking about.
So, the Staff of Surging, did you use it a lot throughout the course of your adventures?
I think I used it sometimes. A lot of times you don't really need it, I find. There's probably like a few areas where it's useful, and I think I remember near the end game, I kind of used the staff a few times just to get a little bit of extra push, but most of the time I didn't really use it, I have to admit.
Think of it this way, and that was a really, really lucky save right there. If I hadn't thrown a bomb and gotten a bit of airtime, I would have fallen into a gap. But yeah, picture this. You've done a burst jump, and you've done your double jump, so you're essentially fucked, you know, apart from, you know, the kind of, like, drag you get by throwing bombs and the like. So you open up your menu, you go to your Arcana list, and you select the Staff of Surging. Bada bing, you have a third jump.
I think mostly I didn't really find a lot of use for it was because I was mostly using the float burst, which covers most of the problems you're going to have when it comes to jumping, I have to admit.
Ah, yes, but don't forget, floating down doesn't necessarily mean you're going to float up, my friend.
That's true. I have to say, though, in terms of, like, all the various relics, arcane, or whatever that you're using, you're giving me a new appreciation for the big bomb, because I did not use it that much, but I've noticed you've been using it to pretty good effect, you know, throughout this playthrough so far. So if I ever play this campaign again, which I imagine I will down the line whenever I'm done playing the other video games I need to play, I'll definitely give it another shot.
Well, it's just because it has, you know, a wide radius, and I like keeping my distance with the bombs and the like.
I mean, that's understandable. I mean, Plague Knight is definitely a ranged type of character.
I'm just wondering what King Knight is going to use for a projectile. Will he throw his crown like King K. Rool? Oh, that would be so dope.
That would be silly, but that would fit King Knight. I have a feeling, and this is what I kind of want, I want him to throw money, actually.
Oh.
Like, I think that would actually be hilarious.
Yes! I want it!
Yeah, I mean, like, they've had effects in games before where you have to use your money as, like, ammo for stuff. Have him throw gems at people, and then you have to pick up more gems in order to do it.
Oh my god, yes, it feels so right. You know, Yacht Club, call us up. We got the deets.
That's true. I mean, we are excellent game designers here on the internet. As you know, most LPers are fantastic game designers. They just don't know their own talents.
Oh, satire. Detecting satire.
Well, I mean, they're taking LPers more seriously these days. For some reason, I don't know. So I would assume that some of them should contribute on a video game once in a while, right?
Well, it depends. Are they getting big views because they're entertaining or because they're insightful? The two, sadly, are often mutually exclusive.
Yeah, that's true. Now, the Shovel Knight clones aren't necessarily too bad. Like, you know, they have a tendency to rush towards you, but as Plague Knight, you can just kind of pick them off from a distance, as long as you have your proper range.
What happened to this place? Everything's wrecked in the background.
Oh, more wrecked than usual. Well, it's called the Explodatorium. I expect a little bit of damage, I'll be honest with you. And Plague Knight does not exactly seem like the kind of guy who likes to renovate his house.
Yeah, he just comes in, he's like, oh, it's an aesthetic, alright, don't judge me.
That's true. I know where everything is. I have a system.
Now, I think in Shovel Knight's version, and this is why I never got the friggin' alchemy coin, is that Chester is actually along this top path here. I may be wrong. It may be in the same area that we got the Staff of Surging, But I know, I just didn't really feel like going out of my way to get it.
What is odd is that some of his minions are actually trying to kill you. Now let's see if you activate the secret over here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do? Yeah, this is the secret room. It's clearly his bedroom. He's got a little rat on a treadmill back there, which is pretty funny. You can bounce on the bed.
Don't really get what the deal with the golden mask is, though.
That must be his date mask. What, don't you have one?
Sadly no. I have a commentary mask, but I do not have a date mask. And oh my god, prepare for hype! Shite. It's Shovel Knight!
And their dialogue actually plays out the same from the original campaign.
Man, that's one instance when not changing the dialogue to make it context appropriate for, like, the protagonist works amazingly well. Yes, we're gonna fight Shovel Knight, guys!
Yeah, this is actually a really cool... I mean, it's such a simple solution, let's make no mistake. But the ability to fight Shovel Knight is pretty good. He uses a bunch of relics that he's had up until this point, and actually when you get him down to a certain amount, he will heal using, like, the potion you get from the truffle pond. So you actually have to take out more than one health bar, sort of.
Man, this got me so hyped the first time I played. I'm not even sure if I was spoiled on the whole thing, but just the ability to fight the protagonist of the other campaign is always something I've enjoyed.
So, as a result, I'm really looking forward to when you fight them as King Knight and Spectre Knight, because King Knight is a joke, as you know, so it will be interesting to see when he actually wins a boss battle for a change.
He can actually throw your, well, I should say shovel your bombs back, so be careful of that, but otherwise just go to town. You're basically getting a huge catharsis bout right here, because you'll remember having to put up with this kind of stuff, maybe not to this degree of precision and skill, but you definitely went through a bomb or two during the original fight.
Yeah, you can't even summon, like, and he drops his money when you beat him!
It's an amazing attention to detail, it's just great.
Good thing he also had an essence for some reason.
Everyone has an essence, dear friend. Come to daddy. Nope.
Get the fuck out.
And it plays the Shovel Knight victory music. It's so good. Oh, that was just a 10-10 level all the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. And don't worry, that doesn't actually kill you. Like, you still make it.
He just carries on like it's Shovel Knight's campaign. But then...
No, he's not out of business quite yet. That's okay, he's dreaming of Shield Knight.
Oh my god, yeah, oh, this lore is luscious and deep, and I love it. Intersecting storylines, man.
So yeah, let's not talk about what happened with Shovel Knight.
Yeah, we don't talk about other storylines.
The famed lab wrecker.
How does Modo know this?
I don't know. Well, I mean, remember she's also on the surface, you know, in her little area, you know, doing, like, her mini-game. So presumably Shovel Knight has wandered in at one point to play.
Yeah. Wow, that's weird. That's mixing, like, canon with gameplay mechanics.
Yeah, it's the weirdest kind of fourth wall breaking meta, you know, integration, but I really like it.
This is the one you were referring to earlier, right? The cluster powder.
Yeah, that's the one I used for a lot of the time before I used the sparkler, you know, powder. It was pretty much my go-to kind of thing. Like I said before, you know, the how many ones you can throw are kind of bad. Also, with the various fuses, like, you get ones that, like, do heat-seeking, they can, like, orbit around you, things like that. I believe I used Sentry a lot on one particular later boss, which I am avoiding talking about, but we all know about.
Does he speak in an outrageous French accent?
Don't most of them do that? Well, all of them have stupid accents when you think about it.
Okay, but for reals, though.
Yes, it's him.
Okay, you should probably be able to guess who we're talking about right now, but we'll leave it vague. This is great, by the way. I see your actions. Yes, behold. You spent 4 hours, 49 minutes, 33 seconds questing. Oh my god, it's going too fast. Just read it yourselves. It's just giving you stats in the form of a letter.
Well, it's better than the bills I usually get.
Lastly, 2 is the number of tonics you've quaffed. Yours so sincerely, Grandma Swamp.
You have a Grandma Swamp?
In this game, apparently.
I wonder what Grandma Swamp looks like. Does she have her own little mask? What does a swamp mask look like?
Oh, look forward to the Grandma Swamp DLC coming 2000XX.
I cannot wait for the inevitable Smash Mouth meme jokes, because that's going to be great.
I think we've bought all the power bar / magic bar power-ups.
At least for the moment.
I don't know, man. Doesn't look like that bar can stretch anymore.
I'm just glad Percy isn't like going into our books and writing on the inside, even though there are words on every page.
He'll find, like, Plague Knight's little diary.
Go to the store. This is not hard. He has money to give it to you. Just fucking walk upstairs.
Just don't question how the economy works in this world, okay? It's weird.
I wonder why they didn't give, like, portraits to all these other recurring characters. Like, Oolong here, you could've just kind of snapped that and kind of put it in the upper left. I don't know.
Kind of odd. Oh, yeah. Intro as fuck.
I like to bop to this one in particular, just kind of swish back and forth.
Uh-huh.
Is he passing gas when he plays through that horn?
Don't, man. Don't mock his artistic...
That's a legitimate question. I'm not making fun of him. I'm curious about his biology.
I wish I could blow you up. I really do.
Oh, we'll deal with you later.
No,
no, you're gonna deal with him now.
You remember this guy from the original campaign, right?
Unfortunately.
What a response. Yes, Reese here, or Reese, or however you pronounce it, he was one of the Director for a Day entries.
Yeah, one of the highest reward tiers on Kickstarter was like when you pay so much money, you get Director for a Day, which means you get to design something for the game. Most people made secret bosses, let's be honest. Well, okay, not secret, they show up on the map, but I believe it was only like one guy who made like enemies instead. Kudos for him to actually showing some restraint, I gotta say. Because the special bosses in this game are mixed, in my opinion. I still think Mr. Hat is the best, all around.
Well, he's the most Mega Man of the lot, I think. I struggled quite a bit against this guy. He's one of the bosses I find harder with Plague Knight as opposed to Shovel Knight.
Yeah, I agree, because it's harder to get in that angle attack when the boomerangs are flinging around. Again, I feel Cluster Powder and Sparkler Powder, if you have it, would do wonders here because you can rack up damage really fast. Because really you want to avoid trying to drag out this fight as long as possible, because it will get tougher. Fortunately, bombs tend to help with killing anime protagonists.
I would just recommend throwing a big bomb down to take out his fiery balls.
I guess every anime hero needs fiery balls when you think about it. It's where they get their courage from.
Yeah. Just gonna add insult to injury now.
Yeah, Leech Wicked, I've said before, is great with bosses. It's just like my go-to kind of arcana for this kind of thing.
And he's down. Alright, sir, you owe me one joke.
What?
That could have many meanings. Ah, well.
Oh, I think we all know the meaning he's talking about.
Oh, this is a classic.
7 vaginas.
Imagine. Tentacles, that is a great joke.
Surprisingly, Plague Knight likes that, which is odd, but alright.
See, I like the fact that Shovel Knight, he was a little bit standoffish, although still chivalrous. And, you know, Plague Knight was initially standoffish, but they both warm up to the guy at the end. It's kind of funny.
I suppose, yeah.
You just don't like the guy because he's so kawaii.
Yeah, something like that.
It's gotta be that. Yeah, Baz, I see you up there. We'll get to you eventually. Okay, guys, we'll see you next week for a bit more Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows in the Iron Whale. Bye-bye.